Hello and very good day everyone. Welcome to our documentary show. So today we are here together in the Food Pro documentary show, The Science of Food. So today we are going to introduce you to the food product that we are going to talk about, which is kimchi. So we have 4 speakers today to present to you what the kimchi about, how to produce it, what the relationship does science have to do with the kimchi. I know that you are excited to know more about the topic today. So without further ado, I present to you the first speaker that will introduce you about the product, which is kimchi, and bring you to Korea. Present to you, Ion. Please welcome.
세상의 어머니들, 한국의 어머니들 말고 세상의 어머니들 꼭 담가 드세요.
여보세요. 네, 이름은 Food Pro Documentary Show의 이온아입니다. Thank you, Teha, as our host today. So, without further ado, guys, I'm going to bring all of you to this beautiful country in East Asia, which is Korea. So guys, even though we are not in Korea, but we, Food Pro documentary show, promise you guys will feel at Korea when you watch this documentary show until the end. So make sure you guys stay tuned, stay back, have a popcorn, and watch our show until the end. Let's go! So Korea is very famous with their places, with their dramas, with their actors and actresses. But can you guess what is their famous food? If your answer is kimchi, you're right. Kimchi is a traditional Korean dish that originated over 3,000 years ago. The tradition of making kimchi started as a way to ferment and store vegetables during the cold winter when many Koreans die of starvation. In Korean meals, kimchi is considered a side dish. Each family has its own kimchi taste and different recipe of seasonings. There are various types of kimchi depending on various raw materials and processing methods. Besides, we have kimchi fried rice, kimchi pancake, spicy kimchi cold noodles, and kimchi juice. Kimchi was made by mixing radish, cabbage, and assorted vegetables and seasoning so that kimchi can be eaten fresh even in the winter months. The main ingredients of kimchi are vegetables, which are low in calories and high in dietary fiber that help with a weight control, which means that you can lose weight when you are eating kimchi. It has better glucose tolerance and containing diet. It was also rich in mineral calcium and iron. It is also effective in preventing lifestyle diseases and even cancer due to its high level of antioxidant. Based on the article written by Joan Raymond in 2013, the most healthiest food is kimchi. So why do we have to try kimchi? Because kimchi is loaded with vitamins A, B, and C, and its biggest benefit may be in its healthy bacteria called lactobacilli that are found in fermented foods like kimchi and yogurt. This good bacterium helps with digestion, plus it seems to help stop and even prevent yeast infection. Some studies shows that fermented cabbage has compounds that may prevent the growth of cancer. Kimchi is now available in a variety of types and packaging sizes at convenience stores and supermarkets. To wrap our introduction, kimchi is such another name of Korea, so for girls who wants to get married to handsome Korean boys, please make sure you can eat and make delicious kimchi too. Thank you.
Thank you, Ion, for the very understanding introduction and also bring us to Korea. So we all knew about the history of the kimchi now. So next, after we know about the background of kimchi, now we continue with our tagline, the science of food. So what can we do with that? I present to you IZZATI to help you to know about the principle of microorganisms and products. So IZZATI, can you present to us what the principle of microorganism? Please welcome.
Thank you, host, for the interesting question. Kimchi actually made through lactic acid fermentation. Fermentation of kimchi is carried out by various microorganisms present in the raw materials. These lactic acid bacteria are believed to be the key players in kimchi fermentation. The flavor of kimchi is dependent on the ingredients, fermentation conditions, and lactic acid bacteria involved in the fermentation process. Kimchi is stored for several months when lactic acid fermentation occurs. More than 100 types of vegetable can be used to prepare kimchi. For example, Chinese cabbage, radish, and cucumber, with a seasoning mixture made of red pepper powder, garlic, ginger, and green onion. Kimchi is made through lactic acid fermentation of cabbage at low temperatures to ensure proper ripening and preservation. Because kimchi is representative of a typical open ecosystem, each batch of fermented food has a different composition of bacteria, and this is dependent on ingredients and fermentation conditions, which can be variable. Lactic acid bacteria are the most important microorganisms in kimchi fermentation. Using conventional methods of isolation and phenotypic identification, the following species are found to be responsible for kimchi fermentation. This species was reported to be the predominated during the first hours of fermentation. The pH value gradually falls to 4, then this species became predominant. To obtain a product of a constant quality, a starter culture consisting of this species and this species strains was used, and the product was not different from conventional kimchi. Kimchi is a unique fermented vegetable product with a long tradition in Korea. It is a common side dish served with cooked rice and other dishes. There are more than 15 varieties of kimchi classified by the use of raw materials, processing methods, and the season and locality of preparation. Korean cabbage and Korean radish are the most popular vegetable for making kimchi, but cucumber, carrot, onion, and eggplant can be used as the primary vegetable. Fermented fish sauce is an important sub-ingredient providing enzymes and flavor substances for fermentation. Salt, garlic, and red pepper play an important role in controlling the type of microflora in kimchi. Production of organic acid at the cost of carbohydrate and resultant pH reduction contribute to maintaining freshness of the vegetables during the storage period. The length of time for completion of the fermentation depends on the salt content and temperature. For example, 3 or 4 days at 20 degrees Celsius and 2 to 3 months at 5 degrees Celsius. The content of reducing sugar decreases rapidly at the beginning of kimchi fermentation, whereas the total acidity increases. The optimal pH and acidity for the base test is 4.2 and 0.6% as lactic acid respectively. The number of aerobic bacteria decreases rapidly at the beginning of kimchi fermentation when anaerobic bacteria dominate. However, at the late stage of fermentation, surface film forming aerobic bacteria start to grow, and texture softening and taste deterioration take place. During kimchi fermentation, the type of microflora changes. The number of these bacteria decrease after 10 days of fermentation in a 3.5% salt content at 14 degrees Celsius, whereas this species, which is considered to be a key to this production process, reduce the quality of kimchi. It is also worthwhile to note that there is a considerable increase in the vitamin B group during winter kimchi fermentation. That is, the amount of vitamin B1, B2, B12, and niacin may reach as high as twice the initial amounts at the optimal maturation of kimchi, and then decrease as the taste of kimchi deteriorates due to over-fermentation. Vitamin A and C are reduced slightly during the fermentation, but it is an excellent way of preserving these vitamins during the winter season. Numerous biochemical changes occur during kimchi fermentation, forming flavor compound and changing the texture of the vegetables. A firm, crisp texture is highly desirable in the vegetable component of kimchi. As can be predicted from the numerous ingredients of kimchi, this product is an important source of vitamin and their precursors such as certain vitamin from the B group and ascorbic acid. Kimchi is also a good source of dietary fiber. Kimchi consumption also seems to have hypolipidemic effect in humans. Some of the raw vegetables used for kimchi, such as cabbage, parsley, perilla leaf, green pepper leaf, garlic, and red pepper, have been tested and shown to be anti-mutagenic with an in vitro assay system. Kimchi extracts have shown anti-carcinogenic activities in animal studies. This may due to an enhancement of the immune system of the host or to kimchi's ability to affect the metabolism of mutagen. That's all my explanation about the principle of microorganism and kimchi. So let's go back to our host.
Thank you, IZZATI, for the very understanding explanation. Now, we have already known about the background of the kimchi and the principle of microorganism of kimchi. Next, we have to know how does the kimchi produce. So, the next person will explain to you about the production of kimchi. Without wasting time, SHAFIQ, can you explain to us how does the kimchi produce?
Hello guys, today I want to talk about kimchi production. Making kimchi requires maintaining clean environment and good hygiene practices. The process is by monitoring temperature to foster the growth of Physalia species, Lactobacillus species, other bacteria that contributing to fermentation process. The process involves braining or salting the vegetable to draw out the water, which help in preservation and allows the seasoning to penetrate the food over the time. Final salt concentration range from 2 to 5%. The process fermented by wild culture naturally present on the vegetable. The formation of organic acid, primarily lactic acid and acetic acid, in the pH of 4.2. The process fermented in room temperature in 1 to 2 days or slowly in refrigerator. It is best to be eaten within 1 week. Thank you.
Thank you, SHAFIQ, for the explanation. Now we all know how interesting kimchi will produce. Next, we've come to our last speaker for our show today. What else we have to know about kimchi? So, to the next speaker, Hanif, can you explain to all of us about kimchi's application, version of kimchi, and what is the benefit of kimchi? Please welcome.
Thank you, host. So my name is Muhammad Hanif and I have worked at Korean restaurant. So I'm gonna talk about kimchi's application, variation of kimchi, and lastly, benefits of kimchi. So in Korean culture, kimchi is served with almost every meal, including breakfast. Not only is kimchi eaten by itself as a side dish or appetizer, but it is also used as an ingredient in a variety of dishes. Kimchi jjigae, a traditional stew made with kimchi, is perhaps one of its most popular uses. The fermented food is also used to flavor fried rice, stir-fry dishes, noodles, sandwich, and even pizza. So, what can we do with kimchi? First is adding a kick to fried rice. Kimchi has all the qualities of perfect in for fried rice. It's healthy, it got a unique character, and a quick sear give it to another dimension of flavor. The slight acidity it lends to the overall mix also makes for a more interesting dish. If you want something a little more out there, a little more a midnight snack, friendly, trust me, no matter how you feel about canned meat, this spam and kimchi fried rice will provide all the savory flavors you could ask for. Remember when I said you can add kimchi to almost anything? Next is topping a burger much like cucumber pickles. Kimchi is a perfectly respectable and delicious burger topping. You could slap it on a plain cheeseburger and call it a day, or you could go a step further by brushing your patties with a slightly sweet soy glaze in order to better complement kimchi's spicy, acidic punch. You can even whip up a flavor pack blend of kimchi, scallions, sesame oil, sugar, and mayo. It's as good with fries on the side as it is on the bun. Last but not least, mixing up a condiment. If all is you do is stick an immersion blender into a jar of kimchi, you will end up with a loose salsa-like sauce that's great on grilled or braised meat, crudités, and more. Or for something with a little more balance and richness in the same vein, you can also use kimchi juice mixed with gochujang, butter, and honey to make a sweetly piquant dipping sauce for dumpling. So now for the variation of kimchi. First thing first, batter. This is the one that you can just refer to as kimchi and everyone will know what you mean. It's made of salted and rinsed cabbage whose leaves have been packed and coated with a mixture of hot red pepper flakes, onion, garlic, ginger, green onions, and optional fish sauce, shrimp or oyster, and Asian cheese. Put into a container to ferment during storage and can be kept for months or even longer in the fridge if you don't have the traditional backyard to brew it during the winter. Everyone has their favorite stage of batcher kimchi fermentation. It can be eaten fresh and it's juicy and delicious when newly made. But as it ages, it becomes more sour and better fermented. Next, kaldugi. Back to the song of fire and spice. Kaldugi is made of cubed Korean radish, the large bulbous kind, white with one green end, found in Asian grocery stores. Some recipe will say that you can substitute daikon if you can't find it. Don't fall for it. The two kinds of radish are related but are not the same. Okay, kaldugi is prepared with about the same ingredient and in the same way as batcher kimchi, but especially juicy and crunchy. It goes great with almost anything. But it is a traditional accompaniment to solotang, a milky white soup made from ox bones and brisket. Lastly, if you have always loved pickled cucumbers and for some reason dream of the day when science will invent a stuffed pickle, dream no more. Oi sobagi, known as stuffed cucumber, is a refreshing, crisp, and spicy variation on the general kimchi theme. Small kirby, pickling, or cucumbers are sliced in quarters lengthwise, keeping one end intact, and the resulting pocket is stuffed with finely chopped vegetables like carrot, onion, sometimes radish, ginger, and garlic. It's good for summer and not meant to be stored for a long time. Just a few days, it goes well with soups and stews. So here is some unique benefit of kimchi, which are contain probiotics, may strengthen your immune system, may reduce inflammation, may slow aging, may prevent yeast infection, may aid weight loss, and last but not least, easy to make at home for your food. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanif, for the explanation. Now, all of us have a new knowledge about kimchi. Now, we are at the end of our show. I hope all of you got a new info about kimchi and what the speakers have presented today. Thank you for your attention, and I hope that we can meet again. I'm FATEHAH, the host for the show today, and I want to apologize if I've misspeak something. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed.